Hi, Patrick. How are you?
Hi, I'm doing great today. How you doing, Ranjeet?
Wonderful. So, what we have today?
Yeah, let's start off with the featured question for the week. So we've got, what is the relevance and importance of a personal statement in your EB1A application?
Well, at the Next League program, this is one of the most important ingredient, what I would say, in your whole EB1A petition that you submit. The relevance and importance of a personal statement in this your EB1A application cannot be understated. A personal statement essentially serves as a crucial document in your EB1A application for several reasons. First, it helps you to build, kind of extraordinary ability. A personal statement allows you to craft a compelling narrative that ties to your achievement and qualifications, clearly demonstrating how you meet the EB1A criteria for extraordinary ability. It basically provides a context and some kind of a coherent story. Number two, it helps you to highlight your achievements. While your other regular petition may include various forms of documentations like awards, publication, memberships, a statement will provide a platform to elaborate on this achievement from your perspective. Like what was your motivation, what was your perspective of doing it. Third, it you might like to take an opportunity to address some kind of a potential weakness. Now, a personal statement is an opportunity to address any potential weakness or gaps in your application. For example, if there are any achievements that may not seem immediately impressive, you can provide additional context to highlight their importance. So this is particularly useful in ensuring that USCIS does not overlook or possibly misinterpret any aspect of your application, which can sometimes be seen as arbitrary. Now, sometimes you might like to connect evidence to the criteria. Now, for example, if you have done some patent and then you may say that this is an original contribution because of certain impact factor that you have done. So, what was your motivation? How it is? So, personal statement can create a one or two line. It could help explicitly connect your evidence to this criteria. Demonstrating how each piece of evidence fulfills your requirement set by the USCIS. You could also use this as an opportunity for impact and recognition. Now, earlier I mentioned like there could be potential gaps. For example, if you are young, then whether there how things can be sustained. There is a way in which you can present, for example, the awards you may have got won recently, but the work that you might have done for which you got the award may have a long term impact actually, or because of some work that you did before, though the recognition came bit late, so you can highlight that as an opportunity. Of course, you can, I always tell people that when you're applying for your EB1A, it's like you're talking to White House saying that you're an expert in this particular field. Why you should be getting EB1A in spite of the fact that there are millions of people waiting for the green card, and what you bring on the table to United States. So something, a personal touch, you can do it. And last but not the least, the most important thing is that there is a CFR regulations. I would say that Code of Federal Regulations, which specify that EB1A petition does not require an offer of employment. We all know that, or a labor certification. But it further states that, however, the petition must include a very clear evidence that that you intend to continue working in your area of expertise in the US, which can be substantiated through letters from prospective employers, pre-arranged commitments like contracts, or a detailed application from the applicant outlining your future plans. Now, this becomes an opportunity for you to even fulfill the regulatory requirement, which says. So, in summary, I would say that the personal statement is a strategic component of your EB1A application that will allow you to present a very cohesive and compelling case for your extraordinary ability. It will help you to integrate and highlight your achievements, address any potential weakness if you think, connect your evidence to the required criteria, and demonstrate the impact and recognition of your work and detail your plans for the future you're working in the United States. And by effectively using this personal statement, you can enhance the overall strength of your EB1A petition itself and improve your chances of successful outcome. And that's what I would say, Patrick.
That's excellent. I think that'll be really helpful for a lot of people. Thank you.
Absolutely.
So, Anonymous from our group now asks, hi, please, must I have work experience before applying for the EB1A? What if I have other criteria aside from work experience?
Well, I would like to take a step back here. We always say that fulfilling a criteria is not a sufficient indicator for your getting EB1A for which it will get approved. One of the essential ingredients and the components for your EB1A is not your qualifications or your work experience, but the impact factor. Now, is there a way in which you can create an impact factor, how you have impacted the lives of other people by virtue of your expertise and what you bring on the United States on the table, and how and why? If you can answer it without a work experience, potentially maybe yes and maybe no. Uh, there are people who are 23-year-old who, or perhaps the youngest person I would know getting EB1A is a one, lady, a 19-year-old. But they would have not necessary work experience, but some kind of a innovative technological innovations, or some kind of an innovation wherein the impact has already begun. Uh, EB1A is essentially given for people not as a potential also, but as somebody who has arrived. Now, can you say that you have arrived and you are there for the betterment of people and the United States itself without any work experience? It might be a bit challenging. So your question is much more complex. Number one, I would just like to summarize it by saying that it should not be related to your, only criterias. Number two, there should be a powerful impact factor. And if you can demonstrate your impact factor without any work experience, well, you can always try this out. But there needs to be really an impactful kind of an opportunity that you should be offering, actually. So I would just leave it at that, Patrick.
Gotcha. That makes sense. So then, Anonymous asks from our Facebook group, in my role as an IT expert, I've conducted numerous workshops at technology expos demonstrating innovative use of artificial intelligence. What evidence should I gather from these events to meet the showcase criteria for EB1A? And how can I highlight my leadership and pioneering contributions through these engagements?
Well, I like your question very much. Whoever has asked this question, conceptually, it was always felt that that the showcase criteria is only for artistic professionals. But of lately, we have seen, especially in the program, that there are a lot of technology people from technology are using this as an opportunity to kind of take forward, or sort of optimize this particular criteria. But remember one thing, it's not about just conducting workshop on application of or innovative use of artificial intelligence. It has to be some kind of a work product that you should be talking about. If you don't do that, well, you can't, you should not use it. Rather than using it for, showcase criteria, you could possibly use it for a comparable evidence. I would not like to kind of just push you to use this criteria just because it exists and you can talk about demonstrating innovative use of artificial intelligence, unless and until there is some kind of a work product that is being created, or you have some kind of a IT product or a patent or something that you want to talk about. This criteria may not suit the purpose. Now, as far as your evidence is concerned, definitely who is the organizer for the event, what you submitted, what was the work product, what was the organizer's impact of your participation, how did it help other people, that might be good. Whether it is a showcase criteria or you go for a comparable evidence as being participated in the events or workshops that have been conducted. And another important aspect would be whether you are conducting it yourself or whether you got an opportunity or kind of somebody invited you as an expert for that would be very vital actually for this particular purpose, Patrick.
For sure, I can definitely see that. So next we have Shyam asking a question. I've been involved in a high-profile international project that won a Global Innovation Award. Can I utilize this experience to prove leadership in my field for the EB1A to meet critical role or original contribution or both?
Well, Sham, without knowing specific details about what kind of a project and what kind of award you are talking about, it might be very difficult for us to respond. However, I would try to give some assumptions and try to probably respond to this. If it is a high-profile international project, I assume that it means that let's say you're working for a company like Google or something. So that's the project. and it was your project, you did it, and that one. And assuming that you are not working with Google, I mean, that's also another aspect that I would like to say that, and that won the Global Innovation Award. So award was given to you and not to the company. That's very important. uh, if company has won the award, then and you were part of it, then it is more for a critical role. You can either go leadership or a critical role, but ideally I would not suggest both. So, and the next important aspect is original contribution you have mentioned. You see, normally any work that you do may not go into both the criterias. Either it would be an original contribution that is much more profound. Sometimes we work in a companies and the work may manifest itself at a larger scale when the competitors or other people outside the company have started using your work. Then it would fall into the ambit of original contribution. Otherwise it would be limited to critical role. So just to kind of conclude, I would say that one needs to have more data points to respond to this in a very generic manner, and what are the quality of evidences that you would have to kind of go more detailed. But a short answer would be yes, the possibilities could exist that you could use this. Definitely you could use it in one way or the other depending on the nature of the details that we could have it. So you can write back to us and we'll be happy to help you out. Thank you.
That's great. Yeah, very usable, but just depends on all the details. That makes a lot of sense. So then we've got from the group, Ruchi K asks, as a professor, can I apply for EB1A? If yes, then how can I use my role as a guest lecturer at multiple international universities to support my EB1A application under the criteria of judging the work of others in my field? Can my PhD degree and the work I've done during my PhD be used to fulfill any of the EB1A criteria?
Well, as I mentioned before, if you are applying for EB1A, the question is not about the degree or qualifications what you have, it's about the impact of your work. So it is the having done PhD does not automatically give you a kind of an entitlement for EB1A, but depending on the impact of your PhD, if something would, for example, if there could be a patent related to this, the work that you have done, somebody may use your research that you are applying for the betterment of something. Say you are in a clinical research or something, and somebody else is using it, some company uses it. So it's a lot of metrics or success metrics involved by virtue of your work that will make things possible. And we don't even know that what PhD we are talking about here in this particular case. Uh, so the impact of depending on the nature of impact of the work and what kind of evidences what you have, I think then you can use it. But as a professor, yes, your role as a guest lecturer at multiple international universities could definitely be utilized. I would say that.
Yeah, that does make sense. Yeah, impact seems to be the theme of the day, right? It's definitely important.
It's not of the day, Patrick. It's an impact factor is the most important thing for the purpose of your entire EB1.
Always, yes, I can understand that. So then we have Anonymous asking, I have been featured in a well-known online technology podcast discussing my innovative work in cybersecurity. Could this be used to fulfill the requirement of media coverage for the EB1A?
Well, it's a very tricky question. I would say that actually here. Because when you say that well-known online technology podcast, now who is the audience, who is conducting, what are the views that you were invited? It's not that it was solicited. These are the kind of aspects if you can cover, because one good thing about the entire concept of EB1A jurisprudence is what I have been seeing, that it changes with time. So there was, in fact, a notification by USCIS a couple of years ago, in fact, in 2020 or 21, if I remember, that even allowed, like for example, if you are making an online speech or something as a seminar, that could be used as a paper. Even online events could be utilized. So there are a lot of, opportunities and leverage that you may like to capture upon. The short answer is yes, you could do this, but it would also depend on what kind of podcast we are talking about. It is related to technology. It means So my answer would be affirmative if you were to follow this. Yes.
Right. Yeah.
And let's
Makes
take a
sense.
last question now.
Sure, we got one more here from anonymous member from our group. Hello, I'm seeking guidance. As a project manager on an H-1B visa for a decade, I've been actively involved with PMI and was recently honored with a state award for my contributions. Can you provide advice on how I can leverage these achievements to pursue EB1A?
Well, as a project manager on H-1B visa for a decade, actively involved with a PMI, I assume that this is an institute honored with a state award for your contributions. I would not like to kind of give too much importance to the award because this is not a nationally or internationally recognized award. So I think just because you got an award and you have been actively involved with PMI, but I would rather like to, you can reach out to us and we'll see how best we can help you. But state award for your contributions and what were the nature of those contributions. So those contributions could be probably, assessed in a more deeper manner, I would say that. Practically, I mean, I have to slightly disappoint you that, either your question is not giving me an enough insight or a data point to respond more comprehensively for you, or I must say that just being actively involved with PMI is not a sufficient metric for this.
Right.
I hope that answers the questions, Patrick. So,
Yeah, definitely. I think that was a lot of great information, and I think that'll definitely help a lot of people asking these questions. So thank you.
so wonderful, guys. So, if you're looking to join the next week program, please reach out to us. The link will be given below in the comment section. We'll be happy to help you. And if you want to come on the show here and ask your questions, we'll still be happy to help you out. Please reach out to us, Patrick or me, and I will be happy to help you out. So wonderful, guys. So wish you all the best, and thank you very much, Patrick, for meeting today.
Yeah, glad to do it.